Namaste, it's Sahara Rose, and welcome back to the Highest Self podcast, a place where we discuss what makes you your soul's highest development. I'm so excited because today I am actually simultaneously video recording this podcast. So if you've always wanted to watch me drop in with you in video form, so it's like we're having a conversation in real life, we're Zooming, we're besties, head over to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Sahara Rose to tune into it there. And if you're on YouTube, hello, we are eye gazing right now, and I'm really excited about it. So I had this thought recently that dropped in and really was like one of those firework thoughts that you have it and it changes the game for you. But this thought is pretty revolutionary. Your ego is not going to like it. And when I say it, you may actually become defensive. You may actually say, well, who are you to say that? You are privileged. You had this, you had that. So I wanted to first just like talk to your ego for a second before I drop this thought so you can fully receive it. So each and every one of us is extremely privileged. If we are here, if we are listening to a podcast or watching a YouTube video, if we have a phone, if we have a laptop, if we have clean water, food, shelter, safety, we are extremely privileged. I am privileged. You are privileged. We all have a great deal of privilege because many people around the world do not even have access to information like this, let alone all of the barriers that you have had to cross to even get to this type of conversation, to even be able to see from this perspective is a great deal of inner work you have done and simultaneously the universe guiding you along the way. So let us acknowledge that. And before you start judging me or throwing arrows at me for what I'm about to say, I also want to preface this that my mother was a refugee who fled on foot through Iran, through the Middle East for me to be able to be born and raised in the US. My dad was an immigrant. I come from a lineage of child marriage. I have definitely seen many of the shadows of the world. I used to work with international human rights, refugee and immigrant associations that really support people to up-level their lives who come from displacement, refugee camps, etc. So I'm aware. And it's important for us to also tune into the responsibility that we each have to create our own experiences. Because yes, there are many, countless injustices in the world. And now that we are aware of what is going on in our field, it is our responsibility to do our own inner work, to clean our side of the pond so we can then see clearly and pave the way for a higher future. So that being said, I had this thought while I was getting ready and thinking about the situation that used to really stress me out. I was in this conflict with someone, and that situation stressed me out for months. So I invite you to bring to mind right now a situation that you have had that has brought you a lot of stress. Maybe it's a situation that you had a while ago that you spent months and months just thinking about, that maybe now you're kind of more over it. Or maybe it's something that you're going through right now. Could be a conflict with a friend, coworker, legal issue. It could be a divorce. It could be not knowing what the career path is for you, feeling angry with your parents for how they raised you, feeling anxious about your money, your debt, feeling alone. So let's bring a situation to mind right now, one that we have spent a great deal of time antagonizing over. And sometimes it's easier to think about a situation from your past because it has less emotionality around it. Now we can see it from a more clear perspective. So bring that to mind right now. Now, how this situation has resolved for you, has it been from that person owning up and realizing what they did wrong and apologizing? Or has it been from you changing your mindset around it? More likely, it has been around you changing your mindset around it. You seeing it from a higher perspective. You creating distance from that situation. You receiving more information. You doing more inner work. So here we can see, we have created some evidence in our minds to see that really intense situations in our lives have shifted for us, not because of that person doing anything, but because our mindset around the situation has shifted. Are we in agreement right now? Okay. So we can see that there. So that being seen, can we also say that every problem really arises from your mindset? That problems don't actually exist within themselves, but it's really how you think about it. It's your mindset around it. It's not that this person did you wrong. They may have, but your mindset, you antagonizing over it, you playing the situation in your mind over and over and over and over again, you letting it get in the way of all other areas of your life, you putting your life on hold until the situation was solved, you letting it stop you from being your most creative and inspired self. That was the problem. So can we agree that problems do not actually exist? It is simply our mindset around the problem. What do you say? Pretty revolutionary. So sometimes it can be hard for us because our ego wants to say, well, this person did that thing to me and it was unfair. And you're right. It may have been unfair, but who says that we live in a fair world? Who told you everything in life is going to be fair? Who decides fair? And how do we even know that what is happening to us right now is not actually happening for us to evolve in ways that we could not have without this situation? Maybe this is the exact thing that needed to happen for you to make a shift that you would not have otherwise. A shift externally and internally. So going back to that problem that you once had, how did your mindset around that issue shift for you to actually make positive changes that have improved your life? So for example, maybe you went through a divorce. Maybe your partner cheated on you. They lied to you. It was completely unfair and unjust. And you faced some of the deepest, darkest moments of your life. And from that, you decided to put yourself first. And you decided to grow emotionally, spiritually, psychologically. You decided to do deep inner work on yourself. Maybe it brought you to a path of meditation or other forms of self-improvement and awareness. And then that painful thing, that wrong, unjust thing actually was the very thing that you needed to make those mindset shifts that paved the golden path towards your highest calling. That you could not have lived your truth had you not made those mindset shifts that even caused you to be aware of what your truth is. You needed to make that internal upgrade for you to actually be able to see all of the other options and opportunities available for you. Had that thing not happened, you would have stayed here on level 6 instead of turning it up a notch and moving to level 12, 24, 48. And even realizing that you have it in you to ascend and evolve and up-level your mindset to see things from a higher perspective. So really, the truth is problems do not exist. There is no such thing as a problem. It is only what you think about the problem. The situation is not the problem. Your thinking about the situation is the problem. It's the story you have created around it. It has been the belief that you think that this is an unjust thing that is happening negatively against you rather than seeing it as part of your soul's plan to help you evolve and have aspects in your toolkit that you would not have had you not been in the situation to need it, this dire urge for you to reach for it. That fire would not be instilled within you had you not been gifted with that problem. Do you see it now? So what are the things right now that you may be stressing over, antagonizing over. My parents should have raised me this way. This person should not be doing that. They should not be telling me what to do with my life. They should honor me more. What are the things for you right now? And if the word should is there, that's a good sign that those are one of our stories right now that are our invitations to help us evolve through. And now, how can we, from a higher perspective, see it's not the situation that's the problem? It's our thinking about the situation that's the problem. It's our belief that this is a roadblock, when actually it's the greatest deep dive and excavation that you can do to understand your calling. It is your case research study. It is your university 2.0. Because no problem is showing up in your field without you in some way being a match for that problem. Does that mean you deserve it, that you're a bad person, that you're low vibe? No. But it means that your soul has in some way called in this experience because it wants to know what's on the other side. It wants to know how we can grow through it. If your soul came into this earth wanting to know, how can I be strong? Guess what your curriculum is going to look like? A lot of opportunities that make you feel weak, that make you feel powerless so you can remember how strong you are. If your soul came in wanting to know what is it like to be fully expressed, it will choose the picture perfect family and opportunities for you to see what it's like to feel stifled, to know what it's like to not feel perfectly expressed. So you can then go through those things so you could see with a microscopic lens, what is it like to feel like I have so much I want to say, but I just can't figure out how to get it through? What is it like to have family members telling me to shut up and be quiet? What is it like to feel like I don't have anything important to share? Because those are the exact weights that are going to give you the strength that you are calling in. The expression that you seek to desire, it doesn't come in naturally if you've never had an issue with that subject. You're not going to do deep inner work on that thing then. Whatever you are curious about, Source will gift you opportunities to deepen your understanding of. So instead of thinking this is a problem, let us realize that I have called in the situation somewhere, somehow. And instead of blaming and shaming myself for it, let me get excited about it, because on the other side of this is my freedom. Freedom. And that is why we are truly here, to know what is it like to see these mountains and turn them into dust, and realize all along it was a beach. So I'm super excited because I have created a brand new 5-day challenge that I invite you to join me on. It is called the Rose Gold Goddess Challenge, except this time it is brand new content with my 5 pillars of Rose Gold Goddesses. These are 5 aspects to embody more of this divine feminine spirituality into your life. So we're going to be diving deep into embodiment, womb wisdom, expression, intuition, and joy. So if you're feeling the call to dive in deeper, this is an absolutely free 5-day challenge. And if you want to sign up for it, it's taking place live on email and Instagram, August 16th to 20th. And you can head over to rosegoldgoddesses.com to sign up right now. That link is in the show notes wherever you are listening. And I'm so excited to dive in deeper with you with tools, prompts, practices, and be doing it live together in a community. Again, that is rosegoldgoddesses.com. And I'm so excited to see you there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Namaste.